What is up, everybody? This is MNL2, and today in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this pretty sweet SNS drop tower in vanilla Minecraft 1.15.2, fully functional and writable. Let's get started. To start off, you're going to go ahead and make a 9x9 box flat on the ground. And also, just to let you guys know, you're going to need to do this at least one block above bedrock. You have to be able to dig down at least one block. So this right here, this grass cannot be bedrock. Once you've got a 9x9 box, also by the way, I'm currently using white concrete to build this. Every time I switch to a new building block, I will show you guys what I'm using. But after you have built your 9x9 box, what you're going to want to do is go on any one of the sides and count one block away from the edge, and then go ahead and place 4 blocks like so. And then you're going to go ahead and do that for every side. Now this isn't entirely 100% necessary, however, it will just kind of make things a little bit more organized, because this right here, these 2x4 boxes that you just cleared out, that is going to be the entire, or these are going to make up the entire dimensions of the entire redstone system. The system that will propel the minecarts upwards. Once you've done that, you're going to want to go ahead and grab your redstone dust and find the exact center of this square. So find the very center of the 9x9 square. Now these aren't going to be centered to anything, these are going to be offset just a little bit, however there's still going to be a center of the overall box. And by the way, this entire box represents the entire dimensions of the entire build. Once you've placed the redstone dust down in the very center, you're going to place 4 pieces of redstone to make a plus sign around that center piece. Then once you've placed those, go ahead and build a block at the very edge of each trail of redstone, like so. Then what you're going to want to do is you have to grab a redstone repeater and leave it as default 1 tick, and go ahead and place them in these holes facing away from the trails of redstone, like so. Now what you're going to want to do is grab redstone dust and place each redstone dust next to the repeater on this white concrete block, like so. Then next to those redstone dusts, go ahead and place sticky pistons, like so. On top of those sticky pistons, we're going to go ahead and place slime blocks right here, like that. Next thing what you're going to want to do is go ahead, and I'll explain later why, but I'm going to go ahead and place a red concrete block right here. It doesn't have to be, but as you can see in the later parts of the videos, it is more of a decorative reason. And then you're going to want to go ahead and place 4 white concrete blocks around it like that to make a plus sign, and cover this whole plus sign with redstone, like that. Now what you need to do is go above each one of these redstone blocks we placed before and choose a block that cannot be pushed by a piston. These are called immovable blocks, and they have to be a full solid block so that they can transmit a redstone signal. I will go ahead and leave a list of different types of immovable blocks that you can use on the screen right now. But just for the purposes of this being a vanilla Minecraft video, I'm going to go ahead and use obsidian. You can technically retexture any immovable block to something else to look like something else, but like I said, keeping it vanilla, I'm going to go ahead and use obsidian. So you're just going to go ahead and place those right above each redstone block like that. Now what you have to do is go to the sides of each slime block and go ahead and place pillars of 2 blocks, 2x1 blocks of obsidian like this. Okay, now once you've done that, go ahead and grab redstone dust and place it on each piece of obsidian like this. Okay, now what you need to do is you're going to have to go down to the ground and crouch and place a white concrete block, or whatever block you're using, above each of the repeaters. Be careful not to change how much delay they have, because these need to be set to 1 tick, aka the default amount of delay when you place them. And once you've done that, go ahead and grab redstone repeaters and go ahead and place these facing towards the plus sign, and leave these once again on 1 tick delay. And then go ahead and place these all the way around like so. Now what you're going to do is go ahead and grab your white concrete block, place it above each one of these pieces of redstone like so. And then now, one more thing is you're going to have to, this part's a little tedious, but just go ahead and place white concrete blocks to the sides of each of these redstone pieces, redstone dust pieces. You don't actually have to crouch. It's just, it makes it a little easier to do it, but like I said, you don't have to crouch. And once you have those blocks placed, go ahead and grab your redstone dust and place them on those blocks we just placed. Now go ahead and take these high up blocks right here and place a button of your choice on all of them. What we have just created is a system in which any button we press on any side of the tower will activate all of the pistons at the exact same time. So that means no matter which side of the tower you're on, you can dispatch the entire ride from every side. Because on an SNS drop tower, the entire vehicle wraps around the whole entire tower, meaning it's one vehicle, meaning it has to move as one. So that's what we've basically just created right here. Alright, now this next step is going to involve a very repeated process of redstone that we are going to begin right now. So first, what you're going to want to do is to start making the redstone on the actual drop tower portion, which is what we're going to build right now. Also, I'm going to only be doing this on one side at a time, one side of the tower at a time, just to show you how it works, and then you can just repeat it for all the other sides of the tower. So basically what you're going to do is grab a redstone torch, place it on the side of the block with the button. Then from there, go ahead and place a block above that redstone torch, and then place a white block diagonal like that. You should have a 3-block diagonal. Now, above this block, go ahead and place another block, so now you have like a sideways question mark, I guess, I don't know. And then go ahead and place a redstone torch above this redstone torch on this block, and above that, place some redstone dust. Now, to the side of this redstone dust, go ahead and place 2 blocks high of obsidian. To the side of that, place 2 high blocks of obsidian. And diagonal to that, diagonal to the original, place 1 block on the upper level of the obsidian like that, or whatever immovable object you're using. I'm just going to keep saying obsidian, but you use whatever immovable block. Remember, it has to be a full solid block, and this is why. Go ahead and place a white concrete block diagonal down to this, and then go ahead and place a redstone repeater coming out of it like that, because this redstone dust needs to transmit through this block, so if this isn't a full solid block, it will not work. Now from here, you're actually going to have to move this redstone repeater to 3 ticks delay, meaning you have to click it twice, because the default is 1 tick, and then clicking it once puts it on 2, etc. Now from here, go ahead and grab your white concrete, place this diagonal up to the right of the redstone repeater, and then directly above the redstone repeater, go ahead and place another block. And then on these 2 blocks, go ahead and place 2 pieces of redstone dust, just like that. Now looking at the front side of the tower so far, go ahead and place a sticky piston facing up next to the block that the redstone repeater is on, and then the block that the redstone repeater is going into, go ahead and place another sticky piston facing towards the center of the ride. And then in between these 2 sticky pistons, go ahead and place a slime block. Now if we want to test this, then all we have to do is just put a block right here, and then we can easily put a rail and a minecart, destroy that block, and then the minecart will fall down into place like so, and then we can go ahead and test it to make sure it's working so far. So as you can see, there we go. Now basically we have to do another redstone system, and then this third layer is basically just going to be repeating for however tall you want it to go. But the second layer right here, this one right here, is actually going to be slightly different than the third one. So all you're going to do is go ahead and place a white concrete block above this obsidian right here, and go ahead and place a redstone torch on the side like that. And then once again, place a block above that, diagonal to that, and a diagonal to that. Just like that. Redstone torch, redstone dust, just like before. The construction of this section is almost identical to the one prior to it. However, there's a slight difference in the redstone, and that difference comes right here when you're going to go ahead and place this repeater right there. This needs to be on 2 ticks delay, meaning click it once to put it on 2 ticks delay. This one's on 3 ticks, this one's on 2 ticks. Every single time you repeat this after this, they will all be on 2 ticks, just to let you guys know. And then now you're just going to go ahead and finish the construction the same way, those 2 blocks with those 2 dusts, and then go ahead and come out to the front, place the sticky piston facing up, and then the sticky piston facing towards the center, slime block, and there you go. Now, all you have to do is just repeat this over and over for however tall you want this to go. Okay guys, so once you have built a tower that is sufficient to the height that you wish, well, first of all, I should mention that when you actually reach a certain height, you're actually going to need to switch one of these to 3 tick delay, just because it'll speed up over time. And so the repeater that needs to be set to 3 ticks delay is actually the 8th set of pistons from the ground, counting the bottom one. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this 8th one right here, I actually had to set to 3 ticks. Everything else should be fine as 2 ticks. And once you've got all that built, just go ahead and test it. Make sure it all works out. and just like that, it works out. Now obviously, you don't want it to just go up and come straight back down, unless you do. If you want it like that, because some SNS turbo drops actually do that, they launch up and then they just fall straight back down without stopping. But if you do want to make a standard drop tower in which it lifts you up and then you stop and hold and then you drop, then there's still more steps of redstone to do. But before we do that, go ahead, and this part might be tedious, but you gotta basically copy and paste this entire tower on all 4 sides of the tower so that you can have all 4 sides of the tower. Yeah, go ahead and do that right now. Alright everyone, so as you can see here, I have completed all 4 sides of my tower. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want to go higher, you can, but just be careful, because you know there might be some weird things that you have to do with setting the delays. But just gonna go ahead and test it out right here. Just press any button, and then as you can see here, all 4 sides of the tower will simultaneously move all the exact same speed. There we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to this next part, in which we're gonna add a section. We're gonna add a system that makes it so that the minecarts will all pause at the top for the same amount of time. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so to start off, what you're going to do is start with any side, it doesn't matter, and go ahead and go to this obsidian block to the far left, the one that's directly above the slime block, and go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks up. You can delete these other 4 right here. Just got to keep that block right there. Oh, creepy Minecraft sound effects. Wonderful. Then go ahead and place a sticky piston behind that block like so. And now you're just going to basically do that above every single one of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Place the sticky piston just like that, so that these sticky pistons are basically here just to extend out and catch the minecart as it flies up. And as long as you're in 1.15.2, then the minecart physics should match exactly how they are in this tutorial. So whoops, there we go, finish that up. And there you go, now you'll have these 4 pistons just like that. Next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and pick one side, and this is where the asymmetry is actually not going to last. After this point, it's not going to be symmetrical, so once you choose one point, then it won't be symmetrical. I don't know. Okay, so go ahead and pick any point, or any one of the towers. I'll just do this one, and then go ahead and basically do the same system that you've been doing this whole time with the 2 torches and then the redstone, but once you get to the redstone dust, then we're going to go ahead and do something different. So to make the minecart delay before the minecart falls down to the ground, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and place a block right here next to this redstone diagonal to the block that it's on, and go ahead and basically going to copy what I do. So this is just going to kind of snake around this way, and yeah, basically just trying to kind of copy exactly what I'm doing here. And like I said, this is to make the delay for the minecarts to pause up here, and then they will fall down afterwards. Okay, so in case you don't know what I'm doing, I'm basically making a 5x5 square, and then a plus sign in the middle, and then blocks on top of every other block alternating, and then of course this little bit right here. And then once you have that, go ahead and add these 2 blocks right here, or 3 blocks like that, and you should basically have this. So try to exactly copy it. I can't really explain it, just other than to do it. And then yeah, so now what you're gonna really have to pay attention to is where the repeaters go. So on this far right hand side, and I'll tell left from right from this, the left side is the side that has this gap right here, and then the right side will have filled in all the way. On this right side, go ahead and place repeaters all the way down on all of these empty spaces, and make sure they are all set to 4 tick delay. This part is important to make sure you have the extended delay. So make sure they're all set to 4 tick delay, and then on these repeaters right here, or on these blocks right here, go ahead and place all of these repeaters facing to the left, like so. Okay, and then on these blocks right here, not this one, except for this one, but on these right here, go ahead and place them facing this way, so towards where we started over here. And like I said, set them to 4 tick delay. And then right here, go ahead and take this one, just this one right here, go ahead and set it going this way, facing in that direction, and towards the left side, 4 tick delay. This one facing this way, 4 tick delay. This one facing this way, 4 tick delay. And then these 2 right here facing to the right, 4 tick delay as well. And now this one right here is going to face towards this block right here. This block, I'm going to go ahead and make it a slime block for now. Don't actually make it a slime block. But that's the master block. That is the master block that is very important. Okay? So make sure all of the redstone signals are going straight into that block. And so now what you're going to do is to put a redstone dust on the master block like so. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and place a white concrete block or whatever block on the sides, or two opposite sides of the redstone block facing left and right like that. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make a redstone signal, and we're going to route it to each one of these pistons. So for this side, all you're going to do is go ahead and place 2 blocks right here and then 1 block off of the piston and put redstone on it. For this one over here, we're basically going to do the same thing, 2 blocks and then 1 block off the piston, just like that. And then on this side, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 blocks this way, and then we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2 blocks this way, and then we're going to go 1 and then off the piston. Okay? It's important to make sure that these don't interfere with these repeaters down here, that these redstone signals don't interfere, otherwise it's going to do some weird stuff. So try to do it exactly like that. And then for this last one, go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 blocks this way, and then 1 off the piston, just like that. And so now that all of the pistons are routed up, and it's routed up to this extended delay, I'm going to go ahead and get a button, and just to show you guys what happens when a button is pressed, then I'll show you that all of these pistons will simultaneously push out, which will hold the minecart up there, and then after a while they'll pull back, and then the minecart will drop. So one more time so you can see that. If the minecart's coming up, then the pistons will catch it, and then after a pause, they will drop. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove this button, and now we're going to go ahead and test it with the actual minecarts from the bottom. So like I said, they stop up here on these blocks, and then they pull back, and then they drop, just like that. Also, these minecarts move up vertically faster than I can, so it's kind of hard to show it right now. I'll try one more time. But yeah, basically, they go up all the way to the top, blocks push out, hold them in place, then all 4 of them will drop. Just like that. Okay, so congratulations. If you've made it this far, then now you have this jumboed mess of redstone. But don't worry, because that's definitely the hardest part in making this system. So now we're going to go ahead and basically move on to the aesthetics portion, where I'm going to show you guys how to actually make it look like the drop tower. And this part's really simple, especially if you're playing on PC and you can use World Edit and use /fill. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so basically, I recommend for the outer rails of the drop tower to use bone blocks, because they do make a nice pillar shape, and then the little stains on the edges of the block do kind of resemble how they look on the real drop towers. So you can use whatever block. I guess another block you could use are quartz pillars, or just literally any white block, unless you want to make a different colored SNS drop tower. I think they make those. I'm not sure. Most of them are white though, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use bone blocks. So basically, all you're going to want to do is, if you look at your original 9x9 box, just go ahead and place these bone blocks on all 4 corners, and these are basically just going to go straight up all the way to the very top, and a little bit of excess. So all you're going to do is literally just go ahead and build all of these up. If you're on console, then this might take a while, but if you're on PC, you can use /fill, which I will do for the other 3 pillars. But just to show you how high up this is going to go, because we do have to also make the cap. I went a little too high there. So all you have to do is, when you get to the top, just go 3 blocks higher than the piston. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now you just have to do this on every side. Alright, so now that you have the 4 outer rails of the drop tower, what you're going to do is, I recommend using red and yellow concrete, because as you can see here, most drop towers do use all of these red and yellow tubings on the inside of the drop towers. However, some do use other colors, so if you're trying to recreate a specific one, go ahead and just find the 2 colors that it uses and pick those, but the majority use red and yellow, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and use. And so basically, this is where this red block that I mentioned earlier comes into play. This entire center, like if you got to the exact center of this whole square, then basically all you have to do is just build a red pillar straight up all the way to the very top. And so that 1 block down there at the bottom, at the center, that is what that is for. It's basically to, like, I guess, be part of this, but it's also part of the redstone. You can also go ahead and make part of this redstone up here, utilizing the decorative blocks. You're just going to have to make sure you replace the redstone repeaters in the proper locations. So now that you have that one red pillar in the very center of the tower, go ahead and take your yellow concrete, and now we're going to make 4 of these all around, circling this red pillar. So basically, you're just going to go ahead and make it, if you had, okay, so here's the red pillar, then go ahead and go 2 blocks diagonal. So there should be 1 block diagonal in between, so that way it's evenly distant between the bone blocks and the red pillars. And then you're going to do the exact same thing, just go ahead and raise this yellow concrete pillar all the way to the very top for this is basically the interior of the SNS drop towers. Okay, and then once again, like I said earlier, you can go ahead and break some of these blocks right here. Just make sure you replace them. For example, there was a repeater there that I couldn't even see, but just make sure you replace it with the proper color. And then I say once it gets to this central section, you can let it all be white, because this, on a real SNS tower, this is kind of where like a lot of like the mechanics are stored. So there is actually like a bunch of white mess up here at the top of most of them anyways, so this just kind of naturally works as theming. But now just go ahead and do that exact same thing with all of the other 4 corners. Right here, and right here. The other 3 corners, my bad, but yeah, and go ahead and do that now. Alright, so now that you've made the majority of the tower, well, basically the tower, with all of the interior design, does look a lot better now. Now you can actually see the drop tower shape in it, and I do think it looks a lot cooler. So now, all we're going to do is go ahead, or what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and build the cap. So just go ahead and come up here, and where these bone blocks meet, or where they max out, which is 3 blocks above the pistons, go ahead and fill in the sides like this. Make sure you lay them horizontally so that that way you don't have like this on every single block. This won't be visible, by the way, but we want to make sure this looks nice. So go ahead and lay these horizontally like so. And then now, oops, there we go. We've got, now it's just a giant rectangular prism. So we're going to go ahead and make this look a little nicer. And so you can use any color you want to make the cap. I'm just going to go ahead and use orange wool, just because that's what that's just what I feel like making. Also keep in mind that all SNS drop towers do have different caps and different cap styles. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the one standard single tower turbo drop styled cap, but you can basically make any cap, because after this point all the redstone is basically done. The ride will work the exact same. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to make the standard stock version. So all I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and go diagonally with my, remember, any color works. I'm going to use orange wool just because I feel like it. And so then you're just going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 blocks, just like that. And you're basically just going to do that for every single side of the tower, like that. So then go ahead and do it right here too. Actually, these need to come, yeah. These have to go all the way to the very edge, just like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing. Alright, and then now all I'm going to do is going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 blocks out like that, so that makes this little symbol. I don't know. Yeah, there, it does that. That's what you do. Just kind of do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 3 blocks as well, so that this just kind of extrudes outwards a little bit. Just like this, and I'll get back to the corners in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and do the sides, because those are the easier, simpler sides to do. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let me just go ahead and do this real quick. Alright, now all we're going to do for the corners is just go ahead and place a block here, and then do that. Yeah, it's really simple. It wasn't going to be very complicated. Just like that, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, for all 4 corners, just like that. And so now you do have the majority of the cap done. Now I'm just going to go ahead and show you a cool little trick to do at the very top. Okay, so basically, as you can see right now, it's nice and bright and lit up on the inside of the tower. If I were to fill up the very top with solid blocks, then it would make it really dark and harder to see the interior, and that's not what we want, unless you do want it. If you do want it darker on the inside, then go ahead and fill the top with a solid block. But if you're using wool, this is also why I chose wool over concrete, is because you can use carpets. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go from this corner, and I'm going to go ahead and type in /fill. and then I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to this corner, and then fill this with barriers. And then what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to place carpets on top of all these barriers. Okay, so, oh yeah, also I should mention, I am actually going to take those red and yellow. I'll go ahead and do this right now. So I'm going to take these red and yellow, the beams that we did earlier, and then I'm going to go ahead and crouch, and I'm just basically going to continue this pattern all the way up to the very tip top, right where the barrier blocks are. And then I'm going to go ahead and do these for all of them. So yeah, just basically so that when you're looking at this from the outside, it doesn't look as empty up here in the top. And yeah, I know how I said with this machinery, but yeah, trust me, it'll look a little bit better if you go through with these pipes all the way up to the very top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Then let me just go ahead and break out of here real quick. There we go. Let me replace that. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and break these through so that they're going all the way to the very top, as high as they can go. And then all we're going to do now is here, let me replace these 4 corners that I used to slash fill with and put those back as orange concrete. And then all I'm going to do is go ahead and get a carpet and then place one and slash fill it, because if you slash fill it to the block, then it might put it on that block and replace those blocks instead, but instead we want it above it, so that's why we're doing this. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill this with orange carpets. And carpets basically work the same way in terms of lighting, and then yeah, also when you do that, go ahead and fill in these remaining edges. But yeah, carpets work basically the same way as glass. They don't really block light, and they do allow light to pass through in Minecraft anyways. So basically all this is going to do is make it so that now the interior is completely visible and still bright, but there's still a cap on it. Like there's no like just giant hole here. We can still like walk on it, we can still look at it, just like from a distance it looks like it's just filled in flat with wool. And in reality it's just carpets. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you were able to successfully create this SNS drop tower. And if you had any problems or issues or comments or concerns, etc., then go ahead and feel free to comment them down below what you had issues with, and I will be sure to respond to every single comment that I can. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, then good for you. I'm glad you did. See you in the next one. Later.